Okay, so we're recording. So welcome everybody to the Board of Library Trustees meeting, October 27th, 2020. And I need to read you something from about the accommodations we're making for the COVID pandemic. So pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, and the governor's March 15th order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Library Board of Trustees will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and general guidelines for the public and parties can be found on the town's website. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen, or no, we already have somebody, a member of the public that's listening, and we are not being recorded by Shrewsbury Media Connection, but it will come on later. Okay, in the event we're unable to admit people to this meeting, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. So with no more ado, we'll start the business of our meeting for today. And I'm going to propose that we go out of order. You've all received the agenda from Priya, I assume. And we'll move down to personnel because we have our new electronic resources librarian, James Perlman, visiting us. And so we want to welcome him and tell us something about you, James.
Great. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be a part of the Shrewsbury Public Library team and love working with Priya and also with Michael. They've all been terrific in training me and getting me up to speed. And just a bit of my background, I come from Harvard with most of my professional career spent at Harvard, mostly within the libraries at Harvard. Initially started out as a library cataloger, cataloging US government documents. So I have a tremendous background in library technical services and metadata and cataloging, as well as working reference-ships for a government and economics library, and in addition to circulation. And then from there, I moved on to full-time library IT support, supporting all of the library's computing systems in the Harvard College Library, both public computers and library systems and staff and catalogers' computers as well. And from there, I moved on to network engineering. So I have a strong background in switch management and data management and network security and those types of things, as well as wireless engineering. And I bring all that to the table with me to Shrewsbury Public Library. In addition, I have a very strong interest in customer service. And that has always been a very strong part of my overall professional endeavors and my professional career. Really coming from the time when I was a retail salesperson at Eastern Mountain Sports. You remember Eastern Mountain Sports, no longer in business anymore, but when I worked for them, they had a very strong basis for customer service and a lot of strong training in customer service. And that really, from a very early time in my professional career, instilled in me a very strong focus on helping people, meeting people's needs, and that has always translated through. I've brought that through with me, both into library science in terms of helping people find the materials and resources they need, and right on through my work with IT and computer support in libraries. I view anyone who came to me as a customer, not just a colleague or someone that I work with, but as an actual customer who's coming to me for help. And that has always really been the overarching goal, if you will, in terms of my meeting people's needs and so forth, be it in library science and providing materials, or be it in servicing computer issues or anything of that nature. So a very strong interest in customer service and a very strong background in IT, and particularly IT in libraries. I've been to numerous conferences, the Computers in Libraries conferences, as well as EDUCAUSE. And I was there for really the unveiling of Twitter, which at the time we're all like, what is this thing? What is Twitter? You can only send 256 characters? This is ridiculous. It'll never catch on. But the CEOs of Twitter were there and giving a presentation that we're developing this new app for people to send out these things called tweets. And, didn't think too much of it at the time. And then a year, 2 years later, this whole Twitter thing has blown up to be such a prominent part of everybody's lives, really, in terms of social media, alongside with Facebook and Instagram and all those types of online social media platforms. So I've really been, have a very well-rounded experience in seeing all of these kind of modern tools, if you will, kind of come into play and come into being. And I've seen them work both in libraries, both as a reference tool for people providing reference and online chat, and as well as marketing through social media. And it's just been really quite a ride. And I'm thrilled to finally have gotten my master's of library science and really be able to now pursue my interest in library systems and library technologies. And I have a particularly strong attention and focus on digital collections. And I myself, in my personal interest in my undergraduate career, I've majored in Latin and Old English and Middle English. And at the time when I graduated, the World Wide Web was just getting started. And there were not a whole lot of places to view manuscripts unless, of course, you're a PhD professor and you get special permission to go to the British Museum and view some of these manuscripts in person. And I was just absolutely enticed by some of the little facsimiles and plates of manuscripts in some of my Old English and Middle English textbooks. And I just really fell in love with the scripts and the manuscript tradition, going all the way from year 0 up to about 1500. And I jokingly say that if it came after the year 1500, I don't really care. But just jokingly, of course. But this brings me to my point, which is with the web now and with digital collections being so prominent, you can now go online, you can view these manuscripts from the Beinecke Museum at Yale. You can go to the British Museum, and they have online posted collections. And it's just been, it really kind of cultivated my further interest in pursuing that field of digital collections and open access and free access to digital materials and online resources for folks. And I try to bring that into the library, and have already kind of brought forth some ideas for some new presentations and some new courses of instruction that we might be able to pursue through the Shrewsbury Public Library, which the town of Shrewsbury and the community would have an interest in as well. And that was one of the presentations actually that I gave for my interview with Priya and Michael, was a whole presentation on digitization processes and how we can probably bring that to the community and cultivate more community involvement in pursuing their own digitization and preservation strategies, such as in partnership, partnering with the Shrewsbury Historical Society and other groups in Shrewsbury, or even just, home users and so forth, to educate them and give them the tools and empower them to pursue digitization as a preservation strategy for their materials. So really strongly focused on digital collections, open access to data, and digital databases and that type of thing. So I think this role is absolutely perfect for me. And I'm falling in love with the library. I love the staff. I love working there. And it's just been absolutely terrific so far.
Wow. I'm sorry this all has to happen in the pandemic, so you're not actually getting more in-person connections with the community, but it sounds like you're going to be a great fit. The other thing is we are seeing such a demand for electronic resources going forward, so we'll be depending a lot on you. So let me let other members of the board talk a little.
Well, James, I just want to say welcome, and your credentials are most impressive.
Oh, thank you.
I look forward to the day when we can be meeting in person.
Absolutely, me too. Me as well. Thank you.
Second all that. Welcome, James.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome.
Absolutely. So James, are you working remotely?
No,
I said that kind of jokingly. I know you guys are back. But
right now I'm at home, but during the weekday, during my regular library, yes.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, James. I look forward to meeting you in person.
Absolutely. Look forward to it as well. Thank you.
Welcome, James.
Glad to have you.
So we'll look forward to hearing more about your ideas as to what we need to do with our collections and stuff as we're all hoping to get past this pretty soon. So yeah, just double a
Thank you,
welcome.
James.
Now you're welcome to hang around if you want to hear the rest of the meeting. Otherwise, we understand if you have better things you want to do. So other things, not better.
Right, precisely. No, I'll stick around for a little while. I'd love to hear what's going on and, you know, hear what you folks are discussing and how the meeting has progressed. So absolutely, I'll stick around.
Yeah, you're always welcome. The community is always welcome. So this is actually the first time we have a community member on one of our virtual meetings. So it's very exciting. So I'm going to go back to our regular agenda then. And so our next item is to approve the minutes of the September 22nd meeting. We've all had a chance to read them, and
Motion to
thank you,
approve.
Priya, for both putting them on Google Drive and sending them out, because we all have different levels of, you know, the ways we like to approach things. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Motion to approve. That's
Second.
Nancy.
Second.
All in favor? Now I have to do this by roll call. And so Dean?
Aye.
Anne Marie?
Aye.
Deborah?
Aye.
Lisa?
Aye.
Joan?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
And April?
Aye.
Okay, so, and I also approve them. So thank you once again, Lisa, for a great set of minutes.
Yeah.
So our next is to talk about the director's activity of in September 2020, and Priya sent us the report. Lots of virtual meetings, Priya.
Yes.
So
Any questions that anyone has?
Priya, the English Conversation Circle is going well.
The English Conversation Circle meetings are going very well. We have 2 every week on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And we have more than 10 participants at each meeting.
Great.
Some of them are international. There's a person from South Korea who's joining the English Conversation Circle. They used to be here attending the in-person meetings at the library. So it's really having a wide reach now.
And so actually Zoom is making that possible. Otherwise that couldn't have happened.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting connection. Yeah.
A silver lining.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really going well. And Christina's doing an amazing job with promoting other resources for English language learners. So she's created a listserv messages that she sends. There are over 100 subscribers to that. And we have a dedicated Facebook page called ECC at SPL that's become active, and again, lots of resources posted on that. So reaching people in various ways.
So that conversation circle has been going on for quite a few years now, right?
10 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah.
I actually started it in 2009, and then 2010 on expanded it to 4 a week.
Oh, I know you got a lot of groups. It's very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that we've been able to go virtual and continue with it is really, I think it's a great resource for people to be able to access the resources remotely. And Jeff, last time you had asked about the Memory Cafe, and I would like to report that the past 2 meetings that we've had 20, 25 people attend.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's
so
great.
That's a big increase.
Yeah.
We have group homes where people are, you know, the facility gets together a group of people, and they project the Zoom screen onto a TV so that more people can view and you know, enjoy the music or whatever other activity that we do. So
so people don't need an individual caregiver then to come with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it was a daycare place, adult daycare center, where they had done that. So we are encouraging, you know, promoting the Memory Cafe through various means. And it was good to see that last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Priya, I wondered how your meeting with the school administrators and media specialists went. Like, are there ways that we can be supporting schools? I know a lot aren't really loaning books.
Right. So we met with the assistant superintendent, a couple of them, Jane Lazot, who's now also the principal of Patton, and a few other administrators and all the media specialists from Sherwood, Oak, and the high school. So it was our children's librarian, young adult librarian, and myself, and the media specialist and the assistant superintendents. So we discussed ways that we can collaborate, promote each other's activities, and I mean, we offered whatever help they would need. The first thing was, getting kids to get library cards and teachers' library cards. So we saw an increase in the number of applications that we received in September. So that's the first step. And then they wanted us to create videos that would show how to, download ebooks, how to access the various digital platforms, and how to even place holds and the process of picking up the holds, etc. So we are working on that now. So we'll make some videos. And on our website, we have this resource called Niche Academy, which has tutorial videos already for some of the resources like consumer reports and I think Hoopla and all that, how to use it.
So these new ones you're making, are going to make them accessible to the general public as well? Because it sounds
absolutely.
like many of us could use it.
I agree.
Absolutely, yes. Once we make them accessible for not only school kids, but everyone in the community. Yes, very good discussion. And Anne Lee and the high school librarian are in communication, the children's librarians and the elementary school media specialists and the middle school media specialists are in communication. So we're all trying.
I'm sorry.
Awesome. Everybody's supporting each other.
Yeah, right. This just jogs my mind. A few years ago, because when I was on the finance committee, the schools had some of their media specialists cut, and there were people being shared between schools. What's the situation today?
I think there's one, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's one librarian for all the elementary. One for Sherwood, one at Oak, and at the high school. And they might have aides, but there's one professional librarian.
But are they maintaining?
I think they're shared.
Oh, okay.
It's one shared, and then there's a media aide in each school that implements the lesson plan that the media specialist. So the media specialist, I think, is in each of the elementaries like one day a week and does collections development and those lesson plans and things like that. Is my understanding.
People with younger children know more about this.
We should have a media specialist in every
We used to have that, April, way back when. So they still have a physical space.
We actually lost the media specialist when I was at Shrewsbury Middle School. That's how long ago. It's probably 15 years ago that they went down to one for the elementary and one for middle.
It's been a long time.
It's sad. I mean, it's truly sad, but that's how long it's been.
Yeah, I think especially in an age of digital media literacy and things like that, it's hugely important, and they support not only the students, but the teachers, in terms of collecting resources for them. So anyway, I won't go on my soapbox, but we should have one. We're glad for the ones that we do have.
Yep, exactly.
There's never enough money in the budget. I know. But it sounds like you and your staff are doing a great job of filling some of these gaps that have been created by the loss of positions in the school system.
Right. Yeah. We're definitely reaching out to them. We are communicating with them, and we're happy to help them in any way that we can.
Priya, was the meeting with CWMR's library directors a valuable one for you? Did you learn anything more about how other library systems are dealing with COVID?
Sure. Yeah, it is definitely useful to attend those meetings. They have a number of those CWMR's directors, then wider network of all Mass libraries, then somebody from the Western Mass. I don't attend all of them. I attend just one or two a month. It is definitely useful to listen to other library directors see where they are in the phased reopening, what stage they are at, how they quarantine the materials, or what kinds of services they are offering. It's most of the libraries are offering limited services like we are. In fact, we have this amazing space that we are able to utilize for the services that we are providing. Smaller libraries don't have that. They use just their lobbies or something, where people come and pick up their stuff, or they're still doing just curbside pickup. So I definitely get to hear what other libraries are doing, how they're preparing for an eventual opening, what kinds of changes they're making in the facility itself. And the quarantining of materials is very interesting because there are libraries that quarantine materials for 72 hours like we do. There are some that put the materials aside for a week and then they process and check them in. So there's a range there from 3 days to a week.
There was an article in the Sunday Globe about library opening. I don't know if you saw it, but some, and I wish I could remember the towns, but some actually were giving people appointments to browse 15-minute sections or up to an hour. I thought that was interesting.
Yes, a few libraries are doing that. Yeah,
that's actually going to be important if you need to do contact tracing. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of an issue about, confidentiality and stuff. I mean, if we could open, and I know that we're not going to be doing that for the next few months at least, it seems to me like, to keep kind of a record, for 2 weeks and then destroy it, that would be fine. And, it had to be, law enforcement would need, or health enforcement would need to see it, but that might be a way to go, because that aggressive contact tracing is so important.
But that's a very contentious issue among libraries.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Because we value the privacy and confidentiality.
I know. Yes,
so ALA has put out a statement about that if you do gather information, it has to be behind the desk.
And you can only get it from some kind of mandate or some kind of writ of some sort or what have you. Yeah, and then you destroy it after a certain amount of time, I would think. But it's a lot of good faith in those kind of decisions. So tough decisions.
Absolutely tough decisions. Yeah.
I think even the limited browsing, like what you've done with the meeting room and having new materials in there, sort of, I was saying to my family that it sort of like fulfills that urge to browse until we get a little bit of that library feeling. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome, April. Thank you.
Nice that those conference rooms are so big so that people can spread out when they use the computers and when they're browsing. You don't feel like you're too close to anybody.
Right.
Has there been heavy usage of the computers?
It's about 3 to 4 people a day. Last I checked, and just when I was leaving today, somebody said, "Oh, you said it's 3 to 4, and there are 4 people who booked appointments at the same time," which is the first time that it happened. On an average, it's been about 3 to 4 people a day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're all depending on our computers so much more these days. Heaven knows. So anything else on the director's report? Can I get a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve.
Oh, I have to do this by, no, wait, it's second. Okay, and then we'll do it by roll call.
Yep.
So, and I'm using your pictures and notes, so that's how in case you think I'm making some people more important than others, I'm not. Okay. So it's Dean.
Yes.
Anne-Marie.
Yes.
Debbie.
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Joan.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
In April. And I also approve it. So good job, Priya, especially under these trying circumstances. So we'll go on to financial and legislative. So first of all is the year-to-date report that you sent us around. Kind of looked normal to me. It's kind of where we need to be right now, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it is about 25–30%. Yes.
Do you see any news from the town about that needing to make changes, you know, in this fiscal year 2021 budget? Because it seems like there's so much uncertainty everywhere, and revenues down and what have you. So
in the 21 budget?
Well, yeah, in case they need to make some modifications. No. They're not giving you any intimations that modifications might be needed right now. Okay. No. Yeah. I mean, all municipalities are struggling right now. So it's a real issue. Okay. So we did nothing we need to act upon there. Okay. Then we have the 2022 action plan that you sent us.
Yes.
Now, are you getting ready for it's the annual budget cycle with the town manager, right? And when do you have to have the action plan ready?
He hasn't yet given us a date for the first draft of the budget, but I thought I would get this ready.
The calendar might be different this year, I would think maybe, but
it might be delayed a little bit, but I think we'll have to soon start working on that. So I thought I would have this ready. They don't ask for the action plan. I mean, this is the timeline that we follow. By October, we usually have the action plan approved by the trustees. So,
because we usually have to approve it in early December, so you can submit a first draft.
The budget, right?
Yeah.
So now I will be able to work on it once this has been approved, and I already have the budget goals. So the action plan, the service priorities are the same based on the strategic plan. And a few more goals and objectives have been added. So now we are looking at the time period from July 2021 through June 2022. You know, so trying to think of all kinds of eventualities that time, trying to think about how the facility itself should be a safe and welcoming place for patrons post-COVID, how we have to adapt to new regulations following COVID. I mean, we are already working on that, making it easy for people to use unique spaces for different activities, how we can reconfigure spaces, and we have to ensure that our collections, print and digital, are robust, and our programs and services not only respond to the needs of the community, but we also follow trends in the wider library landscape and set trends of our own with innovative technology, maker spaces. I think that was mentioned as part of the children's librarians plan. And that we continue to be the information hub for residents. I think we had the new goals that we added. One of them is the children's library maker space, and the children's librarians are visualizing a plan for ongoing activities that might be self-guided, you know, but once the physical space is, once it's safe to welcome the community to use the facility. That something like where children and their guardians would be able to come in and tinker and play and learn, you know. So they're thinking of an active maker space like that, and planning for physical activities in the library, and of course, activities that can be accessed virtually. They plan to record instructional videos and also seek input from community members who might be interested in contributing to our e-content. What else do we have? We'll have the new website definitely by the next fiscal year. And
can you elaborate on that a little bit, because it comes into play again with the budget goals, the new website?
Oh, the new website.
Is it it's going to be a different look from the town website completely? It will be a completely new look.
So they've already, we are in consultation with the vendor. The vendor's name is Influx, and they will provide a framework for the website, and that hopefully should be ready by the end of this year or early next year. And then the content will be populated by us. So there is a team of librarians who are working on planning what the content will be.
I assume James is one of them.
James will be.
Absolutely. I have a very strong background in web design and as well making web content accessibility guidelines. So we're going to do a very good job with the website. It's gonna knock your socks off. I guarantee you. It'll be wonderful.
Yes, we trust you, James. Yes. The adult services team, the children's librarian, all of them will together plan the content and like James said, accessibility issues and stuff. So
how is it going to interface with, I've done some websites. It's usually for me, I've maintained some, it's always a big struggle for me. But nonetheless, you've got to interface with the town. So how does that actually work?
It wouldn't be part of the town website.
Oh, it's actually, you're going to actually go completely outside of the town domain when you go there. I see.
Completely
okay.
outside. And then
and what do we do for security? Because we won't have the town backing up this site.
We should be able to work on that.
It might be that's just a natural part of doing this. I don't really know, but.
I think so.
I think probably will be the case that Influx will have a routine backup strategy because they're kind of providing us this framework. So they're going to also be backing up all the data probably on a daily basis even.
Do they do a lot of other libraries?
They have done other libraries, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's very exciting. It's not that I don't like the current site, but sometimes it can be a little clunky. So it's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff in there. That's the problem. And it might still be a problem trying to fit in all our content in one website and make it accessible and easy to navigate. Yes.
But hopefully it will be geared toward library use as opposed to you're trying to fit into the town, configuration. I actually, when I saw that on the agenda, I just was looking at the website because I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be up yet. And I tried linking to the library website from the library Facebook page, and it's not the right link. So whoever maintains the Facebook page, I think the town, we must have switched the URL or something. So I just went just in case.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Patrons are having a hard time finding that.
Make note of that. And another service that we are planning is Concierge Readers Advisory Service. That's mentioned in the action plan too.
Awesome.
It will be a customized readers advisory. It's in the planning stage right now. So we'll have a Google form on the website that patrons can submit with, what kinds of books they like and what, if they want similar books or some particular genre or specific topics. And then a librarian will provide customized reading lists for the patrons, provide recommendations. So this is a
that could be something that could be public too, like if for especially if you liked Hunger Games, you like this, like to have some read alikes,
right?
Because you might start getting the same questions over and over.
Yes, yeah. We should have a template, and if you like British cozy mysteries, there's a list of more similar titles. Do you have any other questions about the action plan?
It looked fabulous.
No, it looks great.
Looks good. And it looks like there's going to be more and more emphasis on the electronic collections. And you mentioned the increase in demand that you've had during the pandemic. I had a question because sometimes those are very costly. these ebooks. They don't really save us a whole lot of money. We're actually better off getting a real hardcover book. So what do you see as sort of financial, ramifications here?
We have already, every year we've been increasing our budget allocation for ebooks. And we've done that in fiscal year 21, and we'll have to do that in 22 too. It's we just have to increase spending on e-materials, but we also have to spend on print books. If the library is open, we know that there's a great demand for print materials and DVDs and other materials. So our materials budget is very, very crucial that we, have a robust budget. And definitely though, e-content, we do have to allocate more, and the demand is only going to increase. In fact, I had sent you a snapshot of usage statistics from September 2020. I compared some of the numbers to September 2019, and our ebooks, the ebooks that have been loaned, that have been borrowed by patrons, has increased by 42%. Just September statistics, September 2019 and September 2020.
Okay, yeah.
So that's not a surprise, but just wanted to point that out.
Interesting though, yeah.
Yeah, and our ILL stats remain the same as last year. In fact, it's gone up a little bit, the number of items that we borrowed from other libraries in September. So, though we have that restricted space for requested materials, people are requesting the same amount that they did last year. So it's gone up a little.
People are reading more.
People are reading.
They have time. Yes. They're not going out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is I know interlibrary loan is up, but are people requesting the same amount of materials from the Shrewsbury Public Library? So I know that the loan materials are up, but are they checking out the same amount of books or increased books?
That number has decreased because of the fact that they can't come in and browse all materials.
Okay.
So that definitely has, the checkout numbers have gone down substantially from last year. That is because people are not able to come in and browse. That's the only number that's gone down.
I'm surprised that the outreach service hasn't increased.
Hasn't increased?
It's just about the same as it was before the pandemic.
Right.
But I'm surprised it hasn't increased because of the pandemic.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Deb delivers to places like Southgate and Francis Gardens, and not as many individuals that request this. So
I wonder if it's a little caution because of the pandemic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. As also the schools probably are not participating in outreach. So that would
the daycare centers and preschools have started requesting.
Oh, they have. Oh, yes. Good.
So the early learning places, yeah, all the schools and elder care residences. She started delivering to all of them.
So, could I get a motion to approve this action plan? And I think we've kind of discussed also the budget goals for fiscal year 22 in the same process here. Yeah.
So
motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Okay, Dean?
Yes.
Anne Marie?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Joan?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
And April? Yeah, we can't hear you, April. You're muted.
Yes.
And I also approve, so it's unanimously approved. So All right. So is there anything next on the agenda is programs and services? Is there anything we haven't discussed? We've kind of already delved into this a little bit, Priya, but anything we've missed?
So I'll just mention our next, how we've been considering the next phase of the library reopening. So since the last meeting, I've consulted with the Board of Health experts, and they were not in favor of us opening the building for indoor use by the public. As the number of COVID cases in Shrewsbury and Worcester are increasing, and Shrewsbury is now in the red zone, they advised me to continue with just the services that we are offering and not expand the services. So we continue to provide access to requested materials. We've added a selection of new books. We provide access to computers and printer and copier. We're doing a lot of virtual programming. I've planned a series of talks on social justice related issues. And these have been sponsored by the Friends of the Library. And tomorrow, in fact, is the first presentation by Kelly Carter Jackson, faculty member at Wellesley College. And her presentation will focus on Black women and the suffrage movement, voter suppression, Black women suffragists, and voting today. On November 18th, there will be a talk by Professor Carl Keyes of Assumption University on the Slavery Adverts 250 project that identifies every ad mentioning enslaved people that appeared in every newspaper published in colonial America 250 years ago that day. On December 9th, Dr. Cynthia Pika Smith will give a presentation on the importance of interracial friendships. So these are 3 programs that are scheduled for October, November, and December. And the children's librarians had a fun trick-or-treat event at Lake Street Park, where we have the story walk installed. That was this past Saturday. It was outdoors. Everyone was socially distant, wearing masks, and 247 people showed up.
Wow.
Between 10 and 12 o'clock, and staggered people. I mean, they were not, in big clusters or anything. So it was very safe. And we directed them to go around the loop and read the story. And then the goodie bags were given to the kids. We gave out 133 goodie bags with little tchotchkes for the kids. And a lot of fun take-home crafts have been planned by the children's librarians. Talk Like a Pirate Day in September. Then there was Fire Safety Week. This was in partnership with the fire department. And the firefighters recorded themselves reading books for kids, and we posted those on our YouTube page. Then we did Massachusetts STEM Week. So there were take-home crafts for 2 different age groups. So children's librarians are extremely busy, packaging these things. 100 bags they have to pack and put outside for people to pick up. And then there was Halloween-related programs for older kids, where they had to create a diorama with marshmallow peeps or turn a pumpkin into a celebrity. And we got really good pictures. So they picked up the pumpkins and the boxes of peeps, and they sent us pictures of what they had created, some outstanding creations. I think I shared the pictures with you. RBG on a pumpkin and Gandhi on a pumpkin. Winnie the Pooh, etc. So that was really fun to engage the teens. There was a digital escape room based on the new Wimpy Kid book, The Deep End. That was, the book was released today. I mean, it's on sale starting today. And kids of all ages could participate in the digital escape room. And then we drew the names of 10 kids, and they won a copy of the new book. So lots of activities for children teens, and I think even if they can't come into the library to enjoy doing all these things, we are providing opportunities in different ways. So that is what I have under programs and services. Oh, and the Banned Books Week, just one more thing. Banned Books Week was from September 27th through October 3rd. And the children's librarians, Annie Lee and I, each read a book or a chapter from a book that had been challenged in school districts or public libraries. And we recorded ourselves reading a book and posted it again on the Facebook page and the library's YouTube channel.
It was fun seeing your pictures, and I enjoyed seeing Sonia and her baby. Is she back now, or
no? She'll
what's
be
our
back
staffing situation right now?
She'll be back in November, but
okay.
I mean, the others are doing fine. We miss her, but
yeah,
the others are working very hard too.
Yeah, she looked great.
She looked great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so our next item is facility, equipments, and grounds. Anything there?
I do have one thing to report. So there was a maple tree near the western entrance of the library that had died in the spring. And according to the public facilities supervisor, it was about 10 to 20 years old and it had to be removed. They assessed the soil and decided that if a new tree is planted on the same spot, it will not be affected. So they planted a tulip tree there at the end of September. There was a plaque near it, near that tree, that said in honor of L. Thomas Minor, firefighter. So Keith Baldinger, the public facilities supervisor, reached out to the descendants of the family and suggested that we have a rededication ceremony. And so we're going to plan that. I'll be talking to Angela and plan something with the families to do that. So
is the new tree in already?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It is. So you can actually see the plaque. I was not aware of it. So it was a revelation to me.
I had a maple tree fall on my house this spring when that Hurricane Iaiasis or whatever it was. So I understand problems with maple trees. Okay, so anything else then on, otherwise we're on to gifts and grants.
Nothing under gifts and grants.
Okay, and now we'll move to personnel. We've already met James, and thank you for staying with us, James. And the next thing was the evaluation process for the library director. And now this is where people may not know what the normal process is. And Priya, you signed on in March, right? It was March 1st or something like that. It hasn't even been a full year. We have an annual process that we go through. And can I share my screen? Do you think it'll work? Because I'll show you what the process normally is. I'm going to suggest that given this such an unusual year, and it hasn't even been a year, that we just go back to the calendar when come January and start the calendar up fresh. And so I'll try to share my screen. Hopefully it will work and you can see what our normal process is. Oh, there it is. Okay, now, there's always so many things there. Oh, I should have closed off some of my stuff on my computer, guys. I'm sorry about that. Here it is, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to, good, I'm glad you can't. Now you can, right?
Now I can.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the normal process. And then we have a form that we fill out and every trustee fills it out. And so this calendar normally starts in January, and that, none of this affects Priya's raise. That's part of the town salary kind of thing. She's a department head. And so, it's not like we're holding anything up if we decide we want to wait till January to start the process of fresh, which I'm going to suggest here, which is that the personnel subcommittee, and that is Nancy, Debbie, and April, would meet with Priya, discuss the goals. Then they're presented to the trustees, and in June, you can all read this for yourself. I don't need to read it. And then by by December, we've finished going through the process, and at one of our meetings, we all talk about what happens on this form that we have. And I looked at the form, and the form has all kinds of stuff that just aren't relevant right now because the library is not open. And so do you think would be appropriate if we just wait till January and start the process? And I'm seeing nodding.
No, I do. I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's crazy to do it for this year.
Yeah, and it saves Priya one less thing she has to do with coming up with,
Right.
you know, the things that she's done. She's got more important things to do right now.
Right.
Okay, so is that okay with you, Priya?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and go back to being normal. I'm glad this worked. This is good to know. Okay, it's one of the good things about Zoom is that you can do that. All right, the next item is Shrewsbury Public Library Foundation. And they had a meeting, and so probably Nancy wants to fill us in on this.
Yes, Nancy, you can go ahead.
We can't hear you, Nancy.
Mute yourself.
Sorry, we had a joint meeting. I don't remember the date now, about a month ago. Thank you. And we had representatives from the foundation, from the Friends, and from the Board of Library Trustees. And basically the foundation wanted to just discuss our goals and make sure that we weren't duplicating our efforts. And it was determined quite quickly that, in fact, the foundation's role and goals are quite different from the Friends. And we wanted to make sure that we weren't duplicating efforts, but also stepping on each other's toes in terms of what we were trying to achieve. So I think it was a very good meeting, just because we established that, in fact, yeah, we're doing different things. So we're not really overlapping with our efforts at all. The Friends continue to fund, most of their activities are funded by membership. You know, people who want to be friends of the library, and also the annual book sale is their major fundraiser. And again, as we know, the Friends' primary goal is to support library programming. Let's call them immediate needs. Whereas the foundation is trying to establish an endowment fund for the future, for the long range goals, and you know, things that the library might like to do in the future, but would not be part of a budget, and would not be part of approval by the town as part of the library budget. So, so essentially, there isn't any overlapping in our efforts. We're doing different things, so it was a good meeting, and we just discovered that we're all on the same page in moving forward. So that was kind of the gist of it. The other thing I'll say about the foundation is that we are soliciting some new board members, as the trustees approved previously, so that we could expand the board a little bit and get some folks on board that have different skill sets that would help tremendously in our fundraising efforts. And so that's where we're at right now. And I think that has been posted. Priya, has that?
Not yet. I wanted to.
Okay.
I can post it tomorrow.
That'd be great. So that's what the foundation is up to at the moment.
And Priya sent us that.
Yes. So this is this.
You got to look at it tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ellen had created this in January, February, and we had posted it, but we didn't get any applicants. So I can post it again. And
so where is it posted? I think that might be critical to think about where
we have to think. We have to decide where we want to post it. So
was it posted at the town site where they post the people who are doing other committees and stuff?
Yes, I'll have to request them to do that. And then we can post it on our Facebook page.
And in our own website, can we post it there too?
We can post it on our own website too.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll post it, and I have said that people can submit a letter of interest by Friday, November 27th. So that would be a month from today. Does that sound?
Yeah. That's good.
The Shrewsbury Gov Twitter account usually posts, like just today they posted a vacancy notice for the Zoning Board of Appeals. Like, I don't know if they can.
Yeah, I'll check with Valerie.
I think that's where it was last time.
I think they can post it on all their social media pages.
But it's kind of like, you know, everybody just talk it up too, you know.
Yeah. And I would just add that if anyone on our board has a person in mind that they think would be a good, appropriate asset to the foundation board, please reach out to them. I did that today for someone. I sent them the announcement. I directed them also to the foundation website, which is foundationspl.org, just so they could kind of read up on it a little bit. Not everybody knows what the foundation is all about. So if you have someone in mind that you think would be really good, I mean, we want people who are well connected to the community, that, you know, that would help us in our fundraising efforts. Then by all means do reach out to them and you know, ask them to consider applying, if you will, submitting a letter of interest. That would be real helpful. So we're hoping to have at a minimum of one. We need to replace Claire Nagel, who left the board not too long ago. And but we decided that we would be expanding the foundation board. So so we could easily add two more people to our current board. So put on your thinking caps.
Yeah, Priya, I don't remember, is the URL for the foundation and the message you had there, should we include that?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because the foundation has a nice website.
Yes.
Yes, but yes, there is a link from the library website.
There is, okay, good.
I'll add that. I'll add the URL and then I'll post it.
Okay. Okay, so fingers crossed. We have great people on the board, so it's like I hope for more. Talk it up, everybody. All right. Next is policies. Anything we need to do there, Priya?
Nothing to review this time.
Okay, so next we're on to miscellaneous, and first is Bonnie O'Brien. They had a memorial for her.
Yes, so unfortunately Bonnie passed away in March, and the pandemic started immediately after. But I've heard from community members, I've heard from George Brown and others wondering what we were planning to do to celebrate Bonnie's life and to honor her as the former director of our library. And one idea that I had was to plant a shrub in the early spring of 2021, when her sister is planning, you know, again, a memorial. And so we could plan to do something in March of 2021.
Okay.
I don't know if any of you has any other ideas.
I think it's a good idea to do it in conjunction or around the same time as the memorial service.
Mm-hmm.
And people will understand why it's taken so long. You want to be able to do something that people can participate in, rather than having them to have to watch it on Zoom.
Right.
And just a financial question, how would we fund the purchase of that plant?
Did we
have to ask if people want to donate, because people have expressed interest in that.
That's probably.
I received a couple donations too. I mean, the family had not requested people to donate to the library, but I did receive a couple donations.
Oh, to the gift account in her name or something?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be one thing.
Starting.
How do you actually administer that gift account, Priya? I don't really know how that works. I know we've had gifts for and Ted Coughlin's name too, and we have a clock for him, but
right. So we deposit the checks to the LMGA account, and if a family specifies what they want us to do, you know, sometimes it's buying a book or things specific that they request, then we would spend money from that. But otherwise, the LMGA fund also has, you know, replacement of lost items and all that. All those checks are also deposited in the account.
And you try to keep in track of what the donors' wishes were when they submitted it. Okay, I see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like it can get complicated.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll wait to hear. I guess probably her sister can't schedule the service yet either. It's like with the uncertainty right now.
Well, she lives in the Midwest, doesn't she?
She lives in Wisconsin, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a distance.
Yeah.
So
they did have a mass for Bonnie, though.
Yeah, they did.
She'd come here.
Priya, just in terms of if we are going to be planting a plant for her, I don't really know. I didn't know Bonnie that well. I knew her well enough to say hello to, but just wondering if we could personalize it to something that she might have enjoyed herself, whether it be a lilac bush or a crabapple tree or something like that.
I could talk to her sister.
Great idea. And Bonnie was a member of
the Garden Club.
Tower Hill.
Oh, right.
And the Garden
so
Club
too,
right?
Very interested in horticulture. So this is quite, I think it's quite appropriate.
Yeah.
So then will we need a plaque also?
I
like
think
the
we should have a
fireman's
marker.
plaque?
I think we should have a marker there, yes. She had donated a bird bath that is right in front of the, you know, main, kind of near the main entrance. So maybe something there.
Yeah.
Or move the bird bath wherever the planting is done. That would be great.
Sure.
And just remember when you plant it, think about 20 years later what it's going to look like.
Right.
My front yard's got some problems with that. But okay, so next item was thanking Sunday sponsors.
Yes.
And I noticed I think you did that on the Facebook page very nicely.
Yes, we've done it. It's on our website. The last newsletter, I think that was the previous year's donors. So now the next newsletter, we will be listing the names of all the donors that have sponsored Sunday hours for this year. So I'd like to publicly acknowledge that we're extremely grateful to all the generous donors who've sponsored Sunday hours and helped us provide library services on Sundays since October 4th. Providing 4 Sundays are Dr. B. Dale and Mrs. Melanie McGee, Olive I. and Anthony A. Bugatti Jr. Donor Advised Fund of the Greater Worcester Community Foundation. Providing 2 Sundays is Dean Park Grill and Pizza. Providing 1 Sunday each are Maureen Fujimori in honor of Eileen Mooney Evans, Pam Osborne in memory of Harry Der Harutunian, in memory of James A. Heedles, in loving memory of Bucky Summers, in memory of Marsha Williams, the Bacchini family in memory of Ruth Seward, the Friends of the Library in memory of Bonnie O'Brien, John P. Collins and Nancy Hughes in memory of Dr. John P. Collins, Shrewsbury Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, Southgate at Shrewsbury, Shrewsbury Rotary Club, Shrewsbury Garden Club, Selectman Beth Cassavant, the Del Daughter grandchildren, Freya, Dylan, and Devin, Olivia, Peg, and Don Harbert, Kathleen and David Rocheleau, and 1 anonymous donor. Thank you to everyone.
Great. That's great.
And does that cover all the Sundays now, or is there room for a few more?
I think it will cover almost all the Sundays through May, because we have fewer staff members now on Sundays.
I see. So you can spread it out a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's great you're open Sunday though.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that is the last scheduled item. So I guess I would open up for other items. Yeah, Nancy?
Yes. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but we do need to talk about Kevin.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
I do have the book ready that Joan, the book on theater that you had requested, Joan. We purchased the book and we have the plaque on it and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we can ask him to come to one of our meetings. I was just kind of waiting till we were back live, but I don't, you know, whatever people would like to do. I don't really think he is concerned about it, understanding what's going on right now, but we can do
meet outside the library, the parking lot.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
right. We need to do it quick before it gets too cold.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
before it snows.
And right now his foot's kind of, well, he'd be okay with that. He had foot surgery, but he's up and moving. So maybe.
Or we could wait till the spring.
So can you just remind me, because I'm drawing a blank on the book. I don't know what that is.
I can't, is it a book on opera? No.
Theater. I don't remember the exact title. I'll share that information later.
Yeah. It was like a reference kind of thing on the different parts of the theater.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he can tell you about all the plays he's been to since he was in high school.
That's great.
Of course, he lived in New York, so that was the way he could just, you know.
Right.
So he can tell you who was in what play in 1962. So anyway, I think it was appropriate. So if we want to do it in November, or we can wait till the spring, it's, you know, he knows we haven't forgotten him. He understands.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but we could do it outside, but it gets dark. So that's the other piece. We'd have to do it.
Maybe we could do it at the same time we do the Bonnie O'Brien Bush.
Yeah, because I think he came on the library board right about the same time that Bonnie came to the library. So and he probably would like that because he and Bonnie were friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, actually, he came on the library board before Bonnie.
I was going to say, I think it was before.
Yeah, because my dad was on the library board, and he's the person who was instrumental in getting Bonnie. And Kevin was on the library board before my dad.
Oh, so it might be nice to do them together.
Yeah, yeah.
Priya, is there room enough in the library lawn for 2 trees?
We could find another spot, Dean.
I think the book sounds good.
Kevin will be happy with the book.
That's good.
Yeah. Are we going to sign the book in some way?
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
The book is in my office right now.
Yeah. And it would be nice to get Ellen to sign it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the front end, everybody put a little message in the name.
That's right.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice. Yeah.
And somebody with good handwriting or calligraphy skills could kind of write something at the top.
Well, Priya, I sent a thank you to Priya, and I think she put it as a plaque in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is a plaque that says it's from the.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, but it'd be nice to. I think it's a nice touch to sign things.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I notice we even have a couple of visitors today for a change, and so feel free to join in if there's any other items you'd like us to discuss. I can't think of anything else myself. You guys are we're all good.
I just want to tell Priya to compliment the library staff for all the great work they're doing. And it's
absolutely.
Yeah. You think of all they've done for the children and young adults, and it's not as if the kids can come in and they can work with them. They have to think about activities they can take home. So, and I think that storybook in the Lake Street is just fantastic.
I think that's such a great project. Yeah. And the Parks and Rec person, Kevin Esposito, wants to continue in December too. So
that's great.
If they are willing to maintain it, we're happy to provide the book.
Yeah,
That's
I know my great niece and great nephew use it as a way to meet with friends.
It's a lovely spot in town.
A couple of kids will meet and they'll do it together, and it's a way to keep up friendships.
Nice.
Right. Yeah.
Are the pages holding up to the elements pretty well?
They are. They've made the posts sturdier since September because it was different in August, and then September they needed to reinforce that. Yeah, they are holding up very well.
Yeah, that's great. All right, well, I see that our next meeting is scheduled for November 24th. It's probably the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I'm guessing. And I don't have any other items. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second? Okay, and I guess I have to do this by roll call. It always passes. So Dean?
Yes.
Anne Marie?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Joan?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
And I'm a yes too. It's been great to see everybody. And I thank James for hanging in with us here.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
we encourage you to get in touch
you.
with us if you need us for anything. And
That's right.
also for our residents who are here. So thank you for coming. So good night, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
See you. Yes. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you all.
night. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Night.